I want to talk to you just a little bit about budget PCs and what happens when you talk about building one on a hardware forum. I've got SCP Containment Breach running right now on my current machine. As you can see, it's an overclocked Game Boy Color. Or no, actually, I took one of those old Tiger LCD units. I pulled the processor out of it, and I'm running it off of that. So I figured, you know what? I've had this for 25 years. It's time for an upgrade. So I've poked around quite a bit looking for advice on what would be the most feasible setup to put together on a budget, and a rather tight one, to put it mildly. And let me start off with this. The great thing about the PC forums of today is that every topic conceivable has been covered. When you're going over various combinations of gear, there is no combination that somebody hasn't already thought of, asked the question about, and gotten a response on. If you're thinking about running a 7850 on a 486 processor, somebody has already thought of that and asked the question and gotten the consensus. So that is the great thing about the hardware forums that are out there. There's no shortage of information. Take a fucking look at this too. I never know whether or not I'm supposed to be seeing, because the whole point of this game is that you're supposed to get like visual anomalies and ghosts infect your fucking vision or whatever. So I never know if I'm supposed to be seeing this shit, or in the more likely scenario that my computer just cannot fucking deal with this. But anyway, what gets a little contentious perhaps is when you go on there and say, and there are a million threads like this, that okay, I've got, you know, X number of dollars, say $500 to, you know, upgrade my existing rig or whatever. And a kid will throw out his components that he's priced out and whatnot. Without variation, you will get the response of, well, that's okay, but if you spend a little more money, you can get this much more, performance out of it. This happens every... Look it up. Any thread about budget PCs is going to have, well, you know... Don't waste your time with the 6770. You need to save up and get the 6850. And also, no matter what piece, no matter how good the thing is, there will be somebody on there saying to get the next thing up. If it's if you're looking for a 6850, they'll say, no, you know, you should just, you know, just spend like $100 more or however much it is. I don't follow these things that much. You know, and get the 6900 or fucking there's no end to it. If you go on and say, you know, I'm on a bit of a budget, I only have like $1,500. I was thinking of getting 3 7950s and running them in triple crossfire. No, you know, I mean, you know, that's good for now, but you need to be thinking, you know, 10 years down the road, games are going to come out that can't run. So really what you should do is just break into NASA and steal their mission control computer so you can run Crisis 2. And then you fucking do that, and it's, well, you know, yeah, you'll be able to run that in iFinity, I guess, but, I mean, eventually, there's gonna be IMAX screens that fucking run games. So really what you should do is, you know, spend a little more money, put an addition on your house that can accommodate an IMAX screen and run 27 fucking NVIDIA cards in SLI, so, you know, you'll be future-proofed. I'm sorry, you'll forgive me for going a little bit off the rails, but really, if you go on any hardware forum and you know, I've got X number of dollars, nobody understands the meaning of budget. It generally means I got a set amount of money and I can't budge on it. I don't think that's the actual etymology of that word, but it might as well be. When I've got, you know, what, $700, $1,000. If I've got $1,000 for a budget, it doesn't mean 1,120 or 1,240. It means I've got $1,000 fucking dollars. It's not like it never occurred to me that if I spend a little more money, I could get something better. It's not like, oh shit, really? If I just drop another $200 that I don't have, then fucking I'll have a better rig. Thank you, internet guy. This is exactly the kind of thing that makes people just say, fuck it, I'm buying an Xbox. Because there's always something, no matter what you buy, there's always something that's like a little bit, it just costs a little bit more, and you get, you know, I won't argue that a lot of these suggestions that are made, taking the earlier example of the 6770 versus 6850, I'm not going to debate that the price difference versus what you get in terms of performance. I'm not going to say that that's not a good value. It seems like also with every component, not just graphics cards, but everything, there's always a little bit more money that you could spend to get more than a little bit more performance. And that's what makes, again, people just say, you know what? Fuck it, I'm just going to buy an Xbox and be done with it. It's the simplicity, or the perceived simplicity of consoles that is still what draws people to them. I think that most people, if you really looked at it objectively and told them you can pay basically the same money for 2 years for the technology of 2 years ago, and you'll be stuck with it for, I guess, 7 or 8 years, considering that the lifespans of consoles are about that. You would be pressed to find somebody who would take that option over what you can get with a PC if everything else was equal. Now, to people seeing this and who do post, you know, on Tom's Hardware or wherever, who do put up advice, first of all, don't get it twisted and think that isn't appreciated. But when it comes to people who are proposing budget rigs, you look at it from that perspective. From the point of, hey, this is a broke motherfucker who can't really blow more money. It's easy, you know, when you're a real enthusiast about this stuff and you're always thinking about tweaking your rig to be a little bit better, you know, maybe just step out of that mindset a little bit for when somebody's asking for budget stuff. Yes, spending another 50 might get, you know, another $75 worth of performance, but for a lot of people, we're fucking broke, and that's just how it is. If anything, try to be looking at ways to cut down the amount of money that people spend. You'll find that budget-oriented people will be a lot more appreciative of that, of you saying, you know, hey, you can get roughly the same performance and you can save, you know, $50, $70 by, you know, cutting out this component, or going with a lesser version of this component, or whatever. I think that will be more appreciated than saying, you know, if you just spend $80 more, you can get this, because it does never end. And first of all, talking about components, what's with the power supply fetish that people seem to have, like on every single thread? It's gonna be, you know, I'm thinking of, I got a Dell with, you know, it's just stock out of the box, integrated graphics. I was thinking of just dropping a fucking Radeon 4 series in there just so I can run World of Warcraft on full screen. Well, you know, you need at least a 750 watt power supply if you're gonna run that. You gotta spend the money. And, your whole computer's gonna melt if you stay with that OEM power supply. Again, I know your heart's in the right place, and it's a valid point to make that, you know, power supplies can fuck up. The crappy ones are more likely to do it, and, you know, getting a better one, it'll be better for down the road and whatever. But a lot of people are just not coming at it from that angle. They're not thinking about, or concerned about, I should say, maximizing their performance or having something they can upgrade down the road. They just want to spend a few bucks and get a set result for a specific game or application or something. I would like to thank anybody here who's ever given a piece of advice on hooking up a budget rig, because chances are I've read it over the past month or so. It is appreciated. Hopefully, I'm going to have a rig slapped together shortly. I'm not going to say what it is because invariably, again, there's going to be the kid, oh, that build is bullshit. You should change this, this, and this about it. But hopefully, I'll be able to have some playthrough clips of some newer games up. We'll have a good time, you know. It'll be a lot of fun. On a budget.